It is the 15th, and a deposit hits your account. Another drops on the 30th. After taxes, you are looking at exactly $2,500 each time. But before you can even process the total, you are already doing the math on what needs to leave. The rent is due. Then there is the car payment, the insurance premium, groceries, the phone bill, and internet access. By the time the dust settles, you might be looking at $400 left over. That tiny remaining fraction of your paycheck is the exact bottleneck keeping you from building wealth. There is a clear mathematical line in the sand separating financial survival from financial progress, and it sits at exactly $5,000 a month in take-home pay. I know this because my name is Ryan. I spent years earning under that exact amount. No matter how meticulously I tracked every dollar or how hard I budgeted, the math simply refused to work in my favor. This chart shows the reality across the United States. Only 35% of American households bring home more than $5,000 per month after taxes. That means roughly 2/3 of the country is trying to generate wealth on a budget that lacks the basic mathematical margin required to do so. You cannot accumulate capital when your baseline requires every cent just to keep the lights on. Let's look at the mechanics of a $3,000 per month income. At that level, your fixed costs, the non-negotiable expenses you need to survive, typically consume around 85% of your pay. Your financial plate is piled so high with mandatory obligations that a single flat tire or unexpected medical bill immediately forces you into debt. You are entirely in survival mode, leaving absolutely zero room for savings. This comparison of two budgets shows exactly why $5,000 is the tipping point. Look at the second budget bar. When your income rises to $5,000, those exact same fixed costs drop to about 55 to 60. That percentage drop creates $2,000 of flexible space in your monthly budget. That specific gap is where long-term wealth is actually built. Net worth is not a direct product of your gross income. It is a product of this exact mathematical margin. With $2,000 of breathing room, your money finally goes on the offensive. The first $500 goes straight into building a protective emergency fund. The second $500 is routed strictly into wealth-building investments, putting your capital to work in the market. The third $500 attacks any outstanding balances, allowing you to aggressively pay down debt. This diagram illustrates how the final $500 is assigned to living better right now without any guilt. You are hitting 4 major financial milestones simultaneously from one income stream. Every dollar has a productive job. And because of the increased margin, none of those jobs require you to endure painful lifestyle sacrifices. This chart reveals what just one of those habits looks like over time. If you invest that single $500 portion every month at an 8% average return, in 25 years, it grows to $474,000. Crossing the $5,000 threshold literally creates a $500,000 outcome. But there is a well-documented behavioral flaw waiting at this exact income level. The moment people cross that $5,000 mark, their lifestyle often expands to absorb the newly generated cash. The apartment gets an upgrade, you trade in your vehicle for a higher monthly payment, groceries turn into premium brands. You are earning significantly more, but your flexible margin rapidly shrinks back down to the exact same $400 you had when you were making $3,000 a month. The income changed, but the behavior did not. Because the spending scaled perfectly with the earnings, the mathematical advantage of the $5,000 paycheck is completely neutralized, leaving you financially stagnant. Let's run a direct comparison between two people who both bring home exactly $5,000 a month. Person A falls into the trap. They inflate their monthly spending to $4,600, leaving them with only $400 to save. Person B takes a different route. They intentionally freeze their living expenses at $3,500, which protects a massive $1,500 monthly margin. This chart reveals the devastating long-term cost of lifestyle inflation. After 15 years of compounding, where your interest earns its own interest, at an 8% average return, Person A has $138,000, Person B has $519,000. That is a $381,000 difference generated from the exact same paycheck. The ultimate decider of your net worth is not the gross size of your initial paycheck. It is the strict behavioral restraint you use to protect your margin. So how do you avoid the trap? When you finally cross that $5,000 per month threshold, mathematically freeze your spending at whatever it was the month prior. treat the extra income as if it does not exist for your daily life. This diagram illustrates the solution. Set up your accounts to automatically divert that new income. The extra money routes straight into an investment portfolio before it can ever be absorbed by your daily routine. Hitting a specific income number is not the finish line. The true goal of personal finance is creating and ruthlessly protecting the mathematical margin between your earning and your spending.